Hello and welcome to another episode of the NBA 2K podcast. I am your host, Reb, also known as RF Ribeiro. And on this episode, I'm not going to talk about my team just yet because the My Team Courtside report is not out. And since I already speculated and, talked about all the things I want to see in my team, I had to think of something else to talk about. And I thought of something that I don't think I've seen anybody talk about yet that needs to be talked about, and that's NBA 2K on PC and the anti-cheat situation, and also why the game has no crossplay. So, I'm going to talk about that on this episode. Alright, so let me start off by saying that NBA 2K does have an anti-cheat. It's called De Novo. You may or may not know about De Novo, but 2K does use an anti-cheat, so we can stop saying that they don't. Now, what we can do is say De Novo sucks, which I have to agree. De Novo is not the best anti-cheat by any means. So there's a few anti-cheats that I like more than De Novo. I like Battle Eye. I like Easy Anti-Cheat. I like End Protect Game Guard, which is used by Helldivers. I like all of those more than De Novo. And now I want to explain why I don't like De Novo as much. And just explain a little bit about what an anti-cheat does and why we can't have crossplay on PC yet for NBA 2K25, maybe not even for 26. So let's think about it like this. Computer games are applications that are running on top of an operating system. So you have game up top. Think of like a list, a piece of paper, doesn't matter. You have game. Below game, you have operating system. Below that, you have the I/O system. And then below that, you have hardware. Now, the way cheats work is you install whatever cheat, and I'm not going to name the different cheats that there are. And then some of them will install into your operating system. Some of them will go even deeper than that. And, it's dangerous, but people do that. And basically it works the same with the anti-cheat. The cheats and the anti-cheats, they're kind of doing the same thing. It's sort of. And simple. I'm trying to simplify this as much as possible so that people can understand. So think about it like this. You have your game, and then you have your operating system and your hack. All right? Now, what would happen if you had your game and your anti-cheat at the same level, and then below that, you have your operating system and your cheat or your hack? So what would happen is the hack would take priority here, right? Because the game is running with the anti-cheat on top of the hack. Does that make sense? So that's why De Novo doesn't work so well. It's because De Novo doesn't actually go into your computer like a it's not kernel level anti-cheat like others are. De Novo is only game sided. So De Novo was only up when you turn on 2K. And I guess there's a lot of cheats that are only activate when you turn on the game. But there's cheats that you're installing into your computer, and De Novo doesn't do that. Like, you can't go and look for a De Novo file in your computer. So what that means is when you turn on 2K, De Novo is already in the 2K file. And in some ways that's good, and in other ways that's bad. For stopping cheats, it doesn't work very well, unfortunately. And I'm not going to talk about privacy issues because there's a lot of people that think that installing higher level anti-cheats that have kernel access, meaning they have access to your computer even if your computer is not playing, even if you're not playing any game. Some of them you might even not be on the computer at all and the anti-cheat is still on. Some people have concerns about their data being stolen and whatnot, and the truth is you just installing a game that's already a security risk, depending on where you're installing the game from. And of course Steam is very safe overall, but if companies wanted to steal your data, they don't need a kernel access anti-cheat to do it, is what I'm trying to say. So what is the solution then if de novo is not working very well? Well, for starters, the reason that 2K has never, if I can remember, or maybe they have, but not very often, talked about anti-cheat on PC is because you don't want to be, bringing that up, right? You don't want, if you're concerned about your safety and whatever measures you want to take towards that, you don't want to make public so that cheaters can, do whatever. So, the solution would be a better anti-cheat, and there are anti-cheats that install below your operating system, and they get deep in your computer, and they would be able to spot a lot of hacks, a lot of cheats that, of course, are on that level and above. One other thing that a few games do, Overwatch comes to mind as a predominant game that does this, is phone verification. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if you buy the game, you can only verify that game to one phone number. If you cheat, if you hack, if you get banned, you can't just buy another game. You can't just change the computer. You'd have to have different phone numbers, basically. The way a phone number verification would work is you put your phone number, you get a text, and then you get that code in the text, and you put the code into the program asking you to put your phone to verify. So, yeah, there are ways to bypass that. You can buy multiple phones, but you can see how this could be like complicated for somebody who maybe cheats a lot and has to make new accounts all the time. And I don't want that. I don't want that to come into 2K because I know a lot of people will be upset. But I'm speaking with the idea that 2K will have crossplay with PC at some point. So I'm trying to get all the possible solutions out of the way. Now, there are people smarter than me that will know more about this than I do, but I'm trying to explain in simple terms what 2K's situation is right now with NBA 2K anti-cheat and NBA 2K crossplay with PC. Another thing that 2K is going to have to do to add crossplay and to, assuming that the anti-cheat is working well, is they're going to have to make it so that people have to sign in to their 2K account, and they have to have a username on that account to use in-game. And this is because on Steam, like I said earlier, I think you can change your name on Steam as many times as you want, whenever you want. You can change your name. You can put symbols in your name. You can put you can do a lot of things with the Steam username space. And imagine somebody named Mike Wang or Ronnie2K. Like, you can't we can't have that, obviously, for variety of reasons. So the way to stop this would be to do what I think EA has done with Apex Legends, and there's other games that do this as well. I think Overwatch does this too, in some form. There's a lot of other games that do this, and basically, unfortunately, you're when you get this game, you have to create an account. But you can also do it within the game, so maybe they can implement it within the game. You choose a username in the game. So whatever name you pick is the name that you have for forever, and maybe you can, every 30 days you can change it or something. This way, everybody would have a unique name, and hopefully it would stop people from stealing others' identity. For malicious reasons or not, there's ways to do it to where you have like a screen name and it shows your actual username. There's all kinds of ways to do it safely, but 2K, what I'm trying to say is 2K would have to implement that as well. They would have to. So, going back to anti-cheat, I'm hoping that 2K is working on their own anti-cheat that they can bring to PC. But if not, I do hope that they upgrade from de novo to something else that's a little bit stronger, a little bit, that works a little bit better. Now, there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be issues with anti-cheat for every game. So if you guys play Rainbow Six Siege, at least on PC, they do these blogs that are like seasonal, and they show you the percentage of players that have been banned, and there's a hefty amount every season, right? And Rainbow Six Siege has a good anti-cheat. I'm not gonna say that they don't; they do, but you're never gonna be able to stop it completely. But there are many ways to stop it almost entirely. And even if somebody does start to cheat, they won't be able to cheat for very long before it gets caught. Hey 2K community, are you a competitive player who likes money? Prove it on Gamer Saloon, the ultimate arena for NBA 2K players. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, Gamer Saloon lets you challenge players from around the world and win real cash prizes. So no more playing 1v1s to brag about it. Now you can get paid for winning. Gamer Saloon offers a seamless platform with various tournaments and head-to-head matches, perfect for every level of player. Listeners of the NBA 2K podcast can sign up today at gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. All one word. gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. Link in the description. So, to talk a little bit more about, you don't see anti-cheat developers talking very often. This is a direct quote from somebody in cybersecurity. I can't remember his name now, but he said, "We're always trying to detect people who are willing to do just about anything to be undetected. And anytime we open our mouths or do a ban wave, we give them more signal into what we do or don't do." So, lots of players don't understand this basic dynamic, and it's not uncommon to see players demanding more transparency than what actually makes sense for these developers to offer. So, and I'm guilty of it. I've talked a lot about anti-cheat and why we're not talking more about that. And reading more about it, the more I read about it, the more it makes sense why 2K has been so quiet. They've actually been so quiet that I never knew that 2K does have anti-cheat. It's just not a good one. So, and the thing with cheaters is it's a lot of cat and mouse. And a lot of people, if you just play console, I guess this doesn't really apply to you, but if you've played PC games, man, there's, especially nowadays with AI, people can do so many things to try to understand the way the game is designed and developed and all the vulnerabilities and the exploit designs. And so to read here a little section of a post that I found. As a game is released, exploiters can disguise as normal players, and in NBA 2K it's very easy to do, and exploit designs in the game. And then what cheaters can do is dissect and reverse engineer the game with tools. And this is how you have cheat engines that run alongside NBA 2K right now. I don't want to name any of them. I really recommend you don't use any of them. But this is how cheaters were able to create these tools by dissecting and reverse engineering the game with tools. And then you have the advancement of AI to help everybody out as well. Even workers may leave behind cheat codes and admin accounts, and examples include, and this is a quote, where Konami, a company in Japan, Konami code in cases where developer sells yet to release equipment through admin accounts in Korea. So, even if you can prevent those, your game will still rely on a platform which itself can contain vulnerability. Cheaters can choose not to hijack the game, but the platform instead for the same effects, while bypassing your detection in games. So there's there's a crazy amount of possibilities for game developers to not be able to stop a cheater or an exploiter. And 2K is doing the bare minimum right now on PC. They are. Denuvo is not. 2K can do better than Denuvo. I trust that they will. But I think I've been able to answer some big questions that people have had for a long, long time. And to recap, NBA 2K does have anti-cheat, and we can assume 2K25 will also have Denuvo anti-cheat. It is not very good. It only stops the most egregious things. And by the way, if you ever do want to report somebody, you can do it, but you do have to record a clip, because I've tried to report somebody before on PC and 2K support told me to send in a clip. So you can't just send somebody's account name or their Steam ID, which is unfortunate, but I understand. So assuming 2K25 has Denuvo again, there will be cheats, there will be very capable tools for a lot of cheaters. Denuvo is not stopping most people. In the future, 2K does have some tools. There's a lot of good anti-cheats that go pretty deep to where just somebody having cheats installed, 2K wouldn't even be able to play 2K. Maybe offline you could. Even though like I said, there are some cheats that work even in offline. Just by opening the game, the anti-cheats would activate. 2K would have to do something like that. They would have to upgrade the anti-cheat to something else, something that's not installed into the game file itself, into the exe, something that actually installs into your computer. Even though I know a lot of people wouldn't like that, but I think people would prefer doing that than to not have crossplay. And I think I speak for 100% of the people. And yeah, speaking of crossplay, the reason we don't have it is for everything I just said. It is way too dangerous right now to have crossplay with only de novo being the anti-cheat on PC. I'm wondering how FIFA does it, because FIFA has crossplay with PC. So let me have before I end this pod, let me have a look. Incorporates third-party DRM, EA Online activation, and EA app software installation and background use required de novo anti-tamper. So this is what I mean. This is exactly what I was just talking about. So look, you have EA Online, EA software, and de novo all together. So that is something else that I didn't mention, is you don't exactly have to remove de novo. You can add other anti-cheats and just use multiple. Or in this case, it's bypassing I mean, you have all these different layers of security that work as like in conjunction, right? So maybe something like that would work. And it goes back to what I was saying. You're gonna have to sign in to the 2K site. 2K's gonna have to figure out a way to do that. And yeah, that's a good start. I hope they do that. I hope maybe I don't know how, but I hope I get to hear about that. Of course, for 2K25, I don't think it'll be any different from 24 in that regard with anti-cheat. And 2K26, it's too early to say, obviously. I mean, I'm hopeful that crossplay comes in 26, but we'll have to wait and see. So I think that was very productive. I think we all learned a lot. And if there's anybody that knows more, feel free to chime in, leave a comment. If you have any questions, maybe I can answer. You can leave your questions. But that's it for now. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.